Hi everyone, this is the Nordic Venture Show, your guide to the exciting world of Nordic startups and venture capital. In today's episode, we're exploring a startup called Neko Health.
All right, so you want to know more about Neko Health? Let's do it. We're diving deep into their LinkedIn page, kind of like their online hangout, right? You get a different vibe than their main website.
It is interesting they're using LinkedIn to show off their culture and their team. Could be a sign they're big on transparency, maybe even want to attract top-notch talent with that sneak peek.
Right, got to see the people behind the curtain. So Neko Health, founded in 2018. The founders are Hjalmar Nilsson and, a familiar name, Daniel Ek, Spotify guy, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And their goal, give healthcare a good shake-up, but not with some new treatment. They're all about preventative care and, get this, using some seriously high-tech stuff. I'm talking body scans, artificial intelligence, the whole shebang.
See, and that's what makes this really interesting. Daniel Ek, he's a disruptor. Think about it. Spotify changed how we listen to music, completely.
Yeah.
So is Neko Health going to do the same thing, but for healthcare? Instead of waiting for people to get sick, they're trying to stay ahead of the game.
Totally. And they just launched their first center outside of Sweden, right here in London. What's wild is how the public's responding. Their LinkedIn says they got 25,000 signups in just 2 weeks, compared to, get this, a year and a half to hit that number in Sweden.
Wow, that's a massive difference in how quickly people are jumping on board. Makes you think, what's going on here? Is it the healthcare systems themselves? Or maybe people in London just view preventative healthcare differently? Lots to unpack there.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, there's this story on their LinkedIn that really got me. Ahmed Ismail, one of the founders, he did the whole Neko body scan thing himself, and he's saying it was life-changing, like enough to make him go public with his experience.
Yeah, that's powerful. Anyone can talk about how great their tech is, but when you have a founder who's personally transformed by it, that resonates with people. Especially in healthcare, authenticity is key.
Totally agree. Speaking of the people at Neko Health, their LinkedIn shows a really diverse team. They've got software engineers, QA specialists, even a creative software engineer with a PhD. Makes you wonder, what kind of AI are they using that needs that level of brainpower?
That's a great question. It tells you right away that Neko Health isn't just building something simple. They're not just a tech company, and they're not just a healthcare company. It's like they're blending those two worlds together, and that's where the real innovation happens. But it also means you need people with very specific skills.
Absolutely. And they've been recognized for their work environment, too. According to their LinkedIn, Neko Health was named a top startup to work for in Sweden. And you know what? A good company culture, that can really make or break a company's ability to innovate, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. They're trying to revolutionize healthcare, which everyone knows can be a really tough industry to change. To get the best people on board and keep them inspired, you need a culture that encourages creativity, collaboration, and maybe even a little bit of that startup hustle.
You know, we always hear those buzzwords, disrupt, revolutionize, especially with tech, but in healthcare. That's a whole different ballgame, right? We're talking about people's health here.
Yeah, no doubt. And you can tell that Neko Health gets that. Their LinkedIn isn't just tech specs and jargon, it's about making a difference. They're putting stories like Ahmed's front and center, showing how this tech can give people control over their own health.
There was this one quote on their LinkedIn that really stuck with me, something like, "We're not just trying to treat illness, we want to make it a thing of the past." Pretty bold statement, right?
Bold, for sure, but also super exciting if you think about it. It goes back to what we were saying about preventative care. If this tech lives up to the hype, if these scans and AI can actually catch health risks early, man, that changes everything.
We keep talking about AI, but their LinkedIn doesn't really get into the nitty-gritty. So for someone like me, curious mind, how would AI actually work with these body scans? Is that where the whole PhD level software engineering comes in?
It all boils down to data, right? Imagine these body scans. They're gathering tons of info about a person's health, way more than traditional methods. AI swoops in, analyzes all that data, looks for patterns, things that seem off, things even a doctor might miss, or things that would take years to show up as symptoms.
So it's not about replacing doctors, more like giving them a superpowered tool. Is that what we're getting at?
Exactly. AI can go through massive amounts of data way faster and more accurately than any human. This means doctors can get a much clearer picture of their patient's health and make better decisions. Preventative measures, early intervention, all that good stuff.
Right. Their LinkedIn also mentioned Neko Health being featured in Bloomberg and the Evening Standard. I'm guessing those articles were positive.
Definitely positive. Both articles were really impressed with Neko Health's whole approach and highlighted the potential of their technology to, really shake up the healthcare industry. Interestingly, though, both articles also talked about how there's a pretty long waiting list for their services, which just shows how much interest there is in this kind of preventative healthcare. People are ready for it.
Yeah, they've definitely tapped into something, created a lot of buzz. And it's not just hype either. It's the tech, the company culture, their mission. They're telling a story,
And that's smart, because to really change an industry as established as healthcare, you need more than a good product. You need to inspire people. You need to get them on board with your vision. And I think Neko Health is doing that really effectively. Look at their LinkedIn. It's not just about selling scans. It's about selling this whole new way of thinking about healthcare. It's exciting stuff.
It's funny, right? We're talking AI, data, all this tech. But at the end of the day, healthcare is about people, isn't it?
It is. And that human element, that's something Neko Health seems to get. They're not just crunching numbers. They're using it to help people understand their own health, give them the power to do something about it.
Their LinkedIn actually mentions that people are excited to see their scan results. That's a far cry from how most of us feel about going to the doctor, right?
Totally. It's like they're changing the whole experience. I mean, think about it. Healthcare usually feels very top-down, right? Neko Health flips the script, makes you an active participant in your own health journey. Pretty cool.
And you can't ignore the economic side of things either. Preventative healthcare, catching things early, that could save a ton of money down the road? No.
Absolutely. Healthcare systems everywhere are struggling with costs. If Neko Health's tech can actually spot those risks early on, think about it. Earlier treatments, less invasive procedures, which usually means less expensive too. Everybody wins.
Looking at their LinkedIn, it's like Neko Health is almost like rebranding healthcare.
Yeah.
It's not just about feeling better. It's about optimizing your well-being, taking it to the next level.
Yeah, it's a subtle shift, but it's powerful. And it fits in with how more and more people are taking charge of their own health. They don't want to just wait around for something to go wrong. They want to understand their bodies, be proactive, and live longer, healthier lives. It makes sense, right?
It really does. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Neko Health, what's the big takeaway for you? What makes them stand out in this crowded healthcare space?
For me, it's the potential for real, lasting change. They're not just making small improvements to the way things are done now. They're challenging the whole system. They're pushing boundaries with tech, they have a clear vision, and they're empowering individuals. That's a powerful combination.
It's been really interesting to go beyond those headlines, see the human side of Neko Health through their LinkedIn. Definitely gives you a lot to think about.
Absolutely. It'll be fascinating to see what they do in the next few years. Will they achieve everything they're aiming for? Will they really revolutionize the healthcare industry? Who knows, but it'll be exciting to watch it all unfold.
It sure will.
Yeah.
And for everyone listening, we hope this deep dive has given you some things to ponder about the future of healthcare. Stay curious, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.